Hello, I'm Dr. Wickham Simons. This is Obesity Medicine Perspective. I am an obesity medicine specialist in the Triangle area of North Carolina, and today I'm going to talk about protein, and I want to talk about some specific guidelines for the intake of protein. So I'm going to start with this breakfast meal because I routinely get asked this question about the idea of breakfast and it being the most important meal of the day. Do I need to eat at breakfast? And so I'm going to kind of intertwine the protein and the breakfast to try to give you some good ideas and good guidance on how to do this. Number one, I don't put a specific time frame on breakfast. People's circadian rhythms work different and the times they get hungry are different, and so breakfast for one person may be at 6 a.m. and for others it may be at 11 a.m. So instead of describing it as breakfast, let's describe it as the first meal of the day, and whatever time that occurs for you, that essentially is your breakfast. So that's point number one, the first meal of the day, and the timing isn't so important. Now, the second major point I want to make has to do with protein, okay, because there's nothing magical about the first meal of the day, you know, from the standpoint of the fact that just eating or drinking it is something special. The deal is this: if you eat a carbohydrate-based breakfast like cereal or bread or something like that, that is very unhelpful. And in that standpoint, I'd rather you not eat breakfast. It's a waste of your time and probably doesn't help you lose any weight. In fact, it may help you gain weight. So it's not really important for your metabolism and all these other sort of things to have the wrong breakfast. It's not good in that scenario. So what I really want you to do is to get it right. What's important about the breakfast meal is the amount of protein that you have, because it sends a signal to your body that sets the tone for what's going to happen the rest of the day. So you'll want to focus on protein at breakfast. And the key thing I want to drive home about that is that you need 30 grams of protein from an animal source. That would mean something that originated from an animal, which could include things like meats, eggs, but also stuff like whey protein powder, which comes from milk, and that's from an animal source. You need 30 grams of that kind of protein at breakfast or more, but not less. And here's why: because at that amount it stimulates a biochemical process called protein synthesis, and you don't really have to know exactly what that is. You do need to know that that raises your metabolic rate significantly. When studied, we're talking about a rise in your metabolic rate of about 40% for about 4 hours. That's huge. That's like running 30 minutes on a treadmill. And when you need to have extra energy to support this rise in your metabolic rate, you burn your body's fat stores to supply that extra energy. So it helps you reduce your body fat. So I think that the point then about breakfast is that you have it as your first meal of the day, whenever that is, and that you make sure that you get at least 30 grams of protein and not less, and not 25, not 26. To trigger this response that I'm talking about, you need 30. So I'm not much of an eater in the morning, and so I'm going to show you how I do my breakfast. And my helper here is going to hand me some stuff. So what I have here is my coffee cup, which I used on the way to work today. Drank it in my car. And I have some Oh Yeah chocolate protein powder. Now, we carry this in the office, and patients have asked us to carry this brand because it tastes really great and they really like it. It has 32 grams of protein per scoop, and that's really good. Remember I said you got to have 30, so 30 or more. So this meets the requirement. So what I did this morning is, in a protein shaker, I put a scoop of this protein powder, I put a cup of black coffee, and then I added some extra heavy cream. Okay, not a sweetened cream, just regular full-fat heavy cream. I added about 3 tablespoons of that. I shook the entire thing up in the shaker until it was well mixed up. I poured it into this coffee cup, and I drank it like a coffee drink on the way to work. So I don't even think of it as a meal. So if you're not a big breakfast eater, don't worry, you don't have to eat it. You can drink it just like you would, say, a Starbucks coffee, for example. And it tastes like that. It tastes really great. And As a result of that, I get the metabolic benefit of having the higher metabolic rate, which causes me to burn more body fat. Now, knowing what I just said right there, you want to get this breakfast thing right with the protein, all right? You want to get this right. And if you can get to the point where you do 30 grams of protein 3 times a day, you will really do a great job at losing weight and losing body fat while you diet. And that should be your ultimate goal. So until the next time, you give me the effort, I'll give you the tools, and together we can overcome obesity.